So welcome back after what seems like a million years. Last time you were spending some time at Craxis, and in doing so, various things happened. At the Orchid, Lovelore found a lover, and perhaps someone who might bear watching in the future, shall we say. But also someone who is intriguing, dressed in
I'm
black.
glad you qualified that, John. In the future, she might bear. I was like, what?
Well, there enhances the story.
Did you use protection? I mean, we have to ask.
You got his shield out
They
at one
have
point.
big. That's right. Okay, sorry. Carry on, John. Sorry.
And fortuitously, at the time, Varro and Megan were in the right place to save a life. And JL and Megan were able to deepen their relationship as well with the mayor of Craxis. I think we'll continue to call her that. Mayor Salnum. And then you had a map. And you decided that you would seek the fortune that you were told, the treasure that sits at the end of the particular route on this map. And so you have lifted off from Craxis in your spelljammer, and you are heading into the void, out towards the Scortha Reaches and the location on this map, the first location marked on this map, which is a place called the Idol of Tethys, which you know roughly where that is in the Scortha Reaches. So shall we have a look at the map then?
Yeah.
That was weird. So, here we are then. The map. Here's the Idol of Tethys, which is where you are set for. Although this is slightly antiquated in terms of the forms that it uses, and you've noticed this three-dimensional compass rose in the corner. You know roughly what each of these headings means as a result of this. You can work it out. It's not exactly as drawn in 2 dimensions. This thing actually operates in 3 dimensions, but you can work that out. You can fathom out where to go from each spot to each. What concerns you most at the moment is that to get to the Isle of Tethys is quite a long journey, and it's going to be quite empty. So your biggest concern at this point is meeting something in the void that's unexpected, or finding yourself running low on air. You think you should be fine. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Any questions about the map?
Do we recognize the symbology on the polyhedrons that are floating at the edge of the circle? Where we've got the triangle, circle, and
No, you've never seen anything like that before. That's
rectangle.
that particular section. This particular section of the map with these octahedrons You think that's what they are? You're not exactly sure. And these kind of crosses and this thing in the middle. This doesn't seem to make much sense.
I think this is a church, and these are little graves, and this is a barrier around the outside that you have to roll a d8 to get through.
I mean,
That's
there's
what it is.
Also noticing that you got a triangle on this one, circle on this one,
True, and a square.
squarish,
That's
rectangular
true,
shape
yeah.
here, and then you've got a triangle on there.
yeah, they're all
It
Circle on
repeats
there,
all the way around.
yeah, they're
where
on
we
the
bit
border.
there. So I'm noticing that the symbology repeats itself
Yeah.
around
Mhm.
on that. But I was thinking that was somebody's home. That's their home. Yep, that's their defence field around the outside.
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
And
So,
these are the graves of all the people who've tried to cross.
so
I love the way that this is a complete fantasy world with nothing relevant to anything, and all these kind of things. And you look at crosses and go, "There's got to be graves, right?" I love that. It's like little
Yeah.
plus signs. It's got to be Jesus. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not being rude, but come on.
he got around.
Never know.
You never know.
Never know.
And did those feet in ancient? No.
So, in terms of the route we're taking, I mean, are we going to? Is it what Gerinnis? Then
So
Taninis?
this is a route map
Yeah.
which takes you from the Idol of Tethys, which is
Oh,
this
from the-
location. So you know
Oh,
this
That's what we got to
location.
get to.
This is the location that you are heading
The big
towards.
little idol stood down here in the corner here.
Right. Okay.
And then it
No.
will take you to this thing called the Pillars of Zarn. You've no idea what that is.
Yeah.
And
You
you'll
see that
pillars here.
there's some symbols here,
Yeah.
and then there's something called Taminis,
I thought that was
and
a screw holding it onto the wall.
and it's listed as bright.
Yeah.
Then Gerinnis, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay. Again,
And then
no
that.
idea. And then from there it comes down, and then this suggests that this is that this section,
Yeah.
with this square here, I'm
It's
marking the corners
it's a
of,
magnified thing of
is
Gerin-
an expanded part of the map.
Yeah.
So everything else.
because of this little sort of
Yeah, that's
thing.
what that usually means on
Yeah.
these kind of
You
maps.
see, this is the teddy bear man, and he has to pass through the pillars, and he has to fight his way through the farty cloud over here, and over to here where he has the big fight and sees lots of stars before he finally gets home.
There we go.
Wow, your insight is breathtaking.
Very useful.
Those are different recycling things. You've got one for bottles, one for Toblerone, and one for letters. That's good.
There we go. Absolutely.
You haven't
It's
noticed the thing that says
amazing.
Tesco car park. Yeah.
This could be a giant fried egg over here.
It's probably just a coffee stain on the map. But you never know.
This is where
So-
you stop breakfast before carrying on around the trip.
All of the
Okay.
things are
Get a
intentionally
ruler.
there's inked, but they are it's very faded.
Okay, so once it's out on the table, I
Mhm.
get a ruler or a unit of measure.
Mm-hmm.
Is the distance from that one to that one, and that one to that one, and that one to that one the same?
No.
Pretty much.
Roughly.
But it's been hand
Roughly.
drawn, so maybe the person who drew it is not as precise as would be a professional cartographer. This does not look like the work of a professional cartographer. It looks like somebody sat and scratched this out.
Well, exactly. It's a pirate treasure map. What do you expect?
Is that the idol of Tetlis? Tetlis tea.
It comes
Nice.
The idol
Tetlis.
of
Tetlis tea.
Tethys.
Tetlis tea.
Yes.
Somebody wanting to do some converting. I
Tethys.
don't know.
All right.
All right.
Now I'm going to get sued
know
by
where
a
that
tea
is.
company.
Uh,
Oh, it's probably P&G or somebody, isn't it? Tetley's
I'm on to you,
zone.
think so.
I'd look at this tea.
I'm sure it's P&G, isn't it? Who own Tetley?
And do we think that the Pillars of Zarn and Taminis and Gerinis
Mm-hmm.
are on the same planet?
No, this is not a planetary map.
No.
This is a Wildspace map.
Yeah. If you look
Right.
at it,
So
here,
we are aware of. So we are aware of the Pillars of Zarn and where that would
Nope.
be.
No, you are not. You know where the Idol of Tethys is, and what this gives you is a vector, a three-dimensional line from the Idol of Tethys,
All right. So we need to get to the Idol of Tethys and then follow the map.
which is where you're
Let's go.
where you're on the way to at the moment. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, based on a hunch, I think we actually want to go at Wildspace roughly around about there.
Sounds good. Just jump.
And then I just turn around and walk away from the table.
I thought you'd flown on Spelljammers quite a lot.
Yeah. But still, I mean, it's a map. If I know
Okay.
that that's if I know that that's one body, and that's a different body, and that's a different body, and I'm thinking that equals that, and that equals something else, and that equals something else, and that equals, and that equals, and that equals, and those are pointers for where this is, then this equals about there.
so when he walks away from the table, I'll look at the rest and I'll say, yeah, let's do it the proper way. We'll just tell him we did it his way. He'll never know the
Probably
difference.
all go to this. Probably all go to the same place anyway.
Okay.
I had back up on deck. We were setting the course.
How
Sounds
would you
good.
work out where this spot is?
Wow, potluck.
No, it's not precisely potluck. That this give what this
Sometimes
what these lines,
pirates just
give you-
have an intuit direction.
What these lines give you is vectors, but what they don't give you is distance.
Mm.
So the very important thing about these sorts of maps is that this is not a distance map. It doesn't give you the distance. It gives you a vector.
go on the map, then just keep going until you get to wherever it is.
That's right. And then
Here
from
or
there
far.
you take another vector, and then from there you take another vector.
Yeah.
Yeah?
a very old style of map.
That's right.
We have to be careful with our air.
Look, Tetley,
You do.
we don't just sit there and go, we go that way. Because what if it's that way? That way.
Well,
You
no,
know,
that's because that's why. Yeah, I know. John says that's a vector. It's not a vector.
Okay.
That's not a Wildspace vector because it's. I know. I'm. We're interpreting
It's a fantasy game. Give me a break, will
exactly.
you? Big, complicated 3D models.
It's a full map that we're only viewing in 2D at the moment. We can't see the full majesty of this map because we don't live in a fantasy world.
Sad.
Yeah.
I sat there.
I
and
live in a
thought,
fancy.
how do I draw something so that we? And I sat there and I used a variety of different lines and I went for various different things and I went, okay, we can do it like this, we can do it like that, and we can map it. And then in the end, I just went, if I just draw a line, at least that's indicative of, hey,
Yeah.
you know how to interpret that because you're a spelljammer. Way
That's
to
it.
way to not just peek behind the curtain, but rip it down and shit on it at the same time. I mean, come on. Anyway, those are vectors.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So. Hanging incongruously in Wildspace is a stone statue. As you get closer, you realise its gargantuan scale. The base is at least 2,000 feet below the top of the head. The rendering, the work, the detailed work of the statue becomes more uncanny, more lifelike the closer you get, until you realise that actually this is the petrified body of a dead god. That didn't work. To there. Thank you.
Awesome.
On the rock.
Are we seeing that from the front or the back?
That's from the back. We're
Okay.
coming at it from the back. Okay.
How big is it?
They did say,
Did you say? Did you?
and I can't remember. 200 and something odd 100 meters. No. Million meters. Who knows? It was a measurement. There was
What
a measurement.
happened
In
while I
there.
was away? What did you do, Anthony?
Thing is, I
Or
mean,
was it them?
That's not my
I
fault.
don't think you can blame you, can I?
You broke them.
I
Yeah.
just broke them already. I don't know what's going on. So, as you get closer, you realise it's gargantuan scale. The base is at least 2,000 feet below the top of the head.
There we go. 2,000
2,000 feet.
feet. 2,000 feet.
That's a
2,000 2,000 million meters. That's
Yeah, yeah.
close.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
On the rock at the feet of the idol, you see a marked landing area. And with your oxygen levels, your air levels starting
The
to
idol.
run low, you head for it, unsure of what you will find. Skimming.
Does it have its own atmosphere?
It does. Yes.
Ooh,
And it has its own
let's
gravity as well.
recharge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Open
Don't
the
tell
door
me
and
the
watch.
atmosphere's fed from its arse.
Oh no. We'll know soon enough.
Okay. Just give me a minute, guys. Give me a minute. I need to go back to here.
Bit like a bearing, I guess. More like.
Very important thing I've got to do.
Oh,
Crap.
Go,
Whilst
go
we're
down.
looking at the map table, some magical red chevrons have appeared across our vector
It's
lines.
got direction now.
We're on the right path.
Well, yeah, but they're not vectors, but never mind.
Oh, you know what? It's all quantum.
There we go.
For anybody who gets the
Right, so let's recharge
good.
the air then, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you land and you just open the ship up and then the stale air kind of floats away.
Wind down the windows.
Yeah.
Picks up.
Waft it.
Well, I mean, you have doors, right? It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
actually that because you have the big door on the side of the on the side of the loading bay, which you can open up. That's the easiest way of getting air in. You've got
So is there's no way of actually generating air. You're stuck with the air that's in the ship as you go.
in your air envelope. Yeah,
Air envelope.
yeah.
Okay.
Did you? Yeah. Okay. So this is interesting. We'll talk about this for everybody. Okay. So your
Yep.
ship has a limited air envelope. Okay. And when you travel, depending on how far you travel and for how long, you use up the air that's in your air envelope. So when you're flying through Wildspace, you're in this bubble. Okay. And if you've not got somewhere to go that's got its own air, like you fly to a planet, right? You fly into the planet's atmosphere, no issues. Yeah. You fly to like a big asteroid like Craxus that's got a huge air envelope, and that's fine. That's not an issue. But if you've got somewhere that's got a smallish air envelope, like like your ship has, over time it will degrade, and you only get a limited amount of time until you start to struggle with the air because the air becomes foul, and it's not renewed unless you've got some magical way of renewing it, which
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, you think there might be some sort of magical plant you could get, or that. Yeah, interesting.
yeah. So it's a difficult one.
I mean, for you air breathers, it's quite difficult. But I mean, if I was to bump all of you off, I could have done all of this on just one charge of air.
Well,
Right,
yeah,
wow.
that would be the case if anybody killed everyone else.
All the rest, yeah, immediately cut down the amount of oxygen.
Well, no, because I can hold my breath for an hour. How long can you hold your breath for?
An
Ah,
hour?
Yeah,
so you
but
could go an hour between breaths.
An hour without breathing.
Wow. Compared to the much shorter time for
Compared
us.
to possibly 5 minutes max for, you know, a well-endured, athletic
Mhm.
person.
So, as you land and you open up the things, there's a couple of like rather tatty looking, quite utilitarian jammers sat here, and there's where you are. There's kind of a piece of rock that lifts and has got a double set of double doors in it, and the double doors open, and 4 figures, cowled figures, walk out. Their arms are through their hands are basically into the sleeves of their long brown robes that they're wearing.
that's where they're
the
hiding
cowls.
the throwing knives. Then
And they
Laser pistols.
they're in a 2x2, and they slowly in unison walk across to your ship, and they stop just before the ship, and they just stand.
Mention the metal ship.
Yeah, exactly.
There are no metal ships
Don't-
here. You're absolutely fine.
so
I've got this picture.
Vara's going to go over and talk to them. Greetings. What can we do for you?
So, hail Tethys, all 4 of them, and then one of them lifts up, and the cow sort of slides back enough so you can see this face of this unexpectedly human woman. What brings you here, traveller?
Oh, just a waypoint. We're just stopping off to refresh the air.
You take the air of Tethys. And then then all 4 of them nod their heads again. Hail Tethys, hail Tethys.
We exchange. We bring air and we take air away. So we
This
bring
hardly
2
seems like a fair exchange. But you will have come here for a reason. Perhaps you will stay long enough for hospitality. We love to receive visitors,
Do you have
to learn
sandwiches?
more about the outside world.
Well,
Sorry, JL.
unfortunately, we have to make time to get to where we need to get to.
And where would that be?
Maybe we will probably be stopping off on the way back.
And we will have many adventures to
We'll have more stories to tell.
Or perhaps you will be lost to the reaches forever. Why not?
That's also
Why
possible.
not share now? She seems like genuinely like a bit offended. Not like she's trying to kind of come into my parlour, we're going to murder you kind of thing, but just sort of, she looks a bit like, I've just said come and have tea and cakes and a chat with us and update us on the outside world, and you've gone, nah. And she looks a bit like, you can kind of see her look, she sort of glances at one of her buddies, which isn't very good because all she really succeeds in doing is looking at the side of her cowl. But she does look a bit cheesed off with
Nice.
you. She's like, oi, what? Come on. Why can't you just fill us in what's going on, you know?
Cross out this planet too.
Pietro. Tell me about the other religious cult that they tried to do us in.
Why would you rush away so rapidly? Surely, unless there was some
last time we
dire
were in
emergency. But where would you be going with such an emergency?
the last two groups of people who invited us to tea tried to kill us.
I'm on the ship, just so you know.
Yeah.
Nap.
If you've got sandwiches, then
Perhaps there's a reason for this. That is that your friend here is just offensive in his attitude.
it's normally me.
Pharaoh.
Well, you seem perfectly pleasant. And the cowled figure with their head down, stood to the right, sort of lifts up, and you realise that they've got these, that under the cowl they've got curled horns, and they sort of grin at you,
Ah,
Hmm.
and then they drop their head. Will you join us for a refreshment and perhaps tell us of the outside world? We haven't had visitors in quite some time.
I think that'll be okay. What do you have to offer?
Splendid. And she looks at you, Varro. Come on. Any more on your board?
I don't think I'm out of sight since I'm sitting up by the
Hail.
weapon.
She waves up to you. I mean, you're not that
I
far
wave back.
away. Please,
Hell,
join us for a drink. Some light refreshments. Tell us of your travels. Tell us of the outside world. She's projecting. You can hear what she's saying. I'm not going to speak too loudly, hopefully.
gotta set the security. Where's your
Come on,
your
giant
metal
man.
dragon?
It's just in there, look. I mean, you can see it's about 70, 80 feet away, the door. And you can see that the door is staying open. You see beyond the door,
So
there is a room, a well-lit room. Quite a
the
big
other
space.
ships around us, I've been looking at while this conversation's going on. Am I seeing people getting off and on? And
No, it looks like these are whoever this group is, and you're going to guess that they're kind of some cult of Tethys, cult to this dead god. This is where they live. They revere this dead god, right? You get the distinct impression that it's their kind of utility vessels. They're small and they're open decked. They're not, they don't look like they've been stolen or anything like that. They're just.
but this is not like a bustling port. There's not other people walking around.
Not at all.
It's
Not at all.
just
This
us and these guys saying, "Come on, hole."
You're just inside the Scortha reaches here. What is considered to be the boundary of the Scortha reaches, but you are kind of in the middle of nowhere. This is far away from, civilization.
Okay, Shaggy, is your dragon available to guard the ship?
Yeah, we could just lock the door though.
Let's do that too.
I'll be doing that as well, but yeah. All right, let's go and make nice with the neighbours.
All right, I'll join the group. That looks like a very comfortable robe, Rob. Just so you know.
It's
I
my
would say
needle.
Put the hood up, and you'd be one of
Nice.
the
Yeah.
Oh,
lights of Tethys, or actually, kind of more look like a cosplaying mouse.
All hail Tethys. All hail Tethys.
Very good.
nice.
Works perfectly.
Looks
Hang on.
Yeah,
What you gotta do
I
is
got a
lift
bit
that up
cold
and put it
earlier.
on your head, and just so it comes around there, yeah. No. Like, so it's just got that bit, yeah. Yeah, and now backwards. Now backwards, and then put the hood backwards, so it's just your bald head sticking out the top.
I know where this. I know where this is
I know where
going.
you're going with it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just me, is it?
Yeah.
Thank heavens he has a headset.
Uncle Fester. Yeah.
What, you mean a ridge in the middle?
A Prince Albert of some sort. Yes.
No, that's my mouth. Behave.
I was thinking more looks like Uncle Fester, but
What? There is that.
Ripping my ears off. The things I do for you guys. Jeez.
Just to keep us entertained. Thank you.
So they turn, all four of them turn,
Oh, hell, Tessis.
and they walk back into this room. It's about 70, 80 feet roughly square, carved out the rock at the bottom here. There are some skylights all the way across, so there's light coming in from the Wildspace outside. The ceiling's fairly tall. It's about 20 feet, so it's taller than an average room. There's some trestle tables all the way around. There's various doors leading off. And as you walk back in, this woman who has come in, she produces her hands and she waves one side and waves another, and then sort of there's a bunch of monks inside, and they bustle out. The doors they just leave open. You can see the ship outside. There's probably
Yeah, I mean,
other
it's
ways
not
out
like
of
unless
wherever.
anybody docks, they're not going to hear our squeals of pain and anguish, are they? In the
No.
deep space.
In space,
In
nobody
space.
can hear you scream.
Yep.
hey, JL. Own day enchen me the lasso a.
That's what I call. That's
Do you
what
know
I called
about
the
the
mod.
lass?
That's what I've called the mod for The Sims.
See this
Everybody else
drawing?
tries to kill us. What about you guys?
Yeah, that was in this thing.
So, they bring some refreshments. There's water. There's some kind of you're not quite sure, some kind of wine. It's sort of like a red liquid. It tastes a bit grapey. It's not really very alcoholic, and they serve cups of both. They seem pretty frugal, to be honest. They bring some bread. They don't seem to have very much in the way of food. They've got these little sort of they're almost like biscuits that you pick up and eat. They're perfectly fine to eat, but and they're tucking in. There's about 20 of them in total, and one of them comes over shorter than the rest. Cal flicks his cowl back, and it's a dwarf, and he looks very earnestly at you, JL. You're the leader? You
No.
speak for them?
Well, I speak, but I don't know if I speak for everybody.
Well, you need supplies?
Possibly. What do you have supplies to offer?
Well, we have food and water. We can trade.
Yes. If you want some mayo on your sandwich, on your bread, I've got some in this jug you can borrow.
Yes, a space whale donated it.
I'll put
I
it
love
online.
it. That's such a
Don't post it
brilliant
online.
thing. Yeah.
She's got 2 gallons of mayonnaise to pass around.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, if water and bread or anything will be of use to keep us going.
Oh. Well, look. What would you need? Do you want to have a little agree some trade goods? You have a conversation, and after a little while, it's a few months leave, and then a bunch more. There's a door opens, a bunch more come out, and they're carrying boxes like crates and stuff. And he shows you inside one of the crates. There's a bunch of kind of package. This is all pretty much dried goods. There's some of these. There's a big box of these biscuits which will keep you going for days. There's some small barrels. They're all just water, but there's some small barrels of water. And he very proudly tells you about the fact that they capture ice chunks and then they melt them down, and that's how they get their water, and that's where they get it from. And he tells you that they also have some growing space here as well, so that they can grow stuff inside, and they grow things in water. And he's kind of enthusiastically explaining about all of these things, so they seem quite well set.
The biscuits are good.
So the monk who first spoke. So tell us of the outside world. Tell us of what is happening.
What do we call you? I'm
Welser.
Lovelore. I'm sorry?
I am Welser.
Welsa. I'm doing well as well. What?
Welser.
Oh, it's good to hear you have some growing space on here. Thought everything was dead here.
Far from it.
Oh? Tell us about the statue.
Statue?
The god.
Okay, so at this point you say this, and they all heads down, or everybody in the room. Hail Tethys! Hail Tethys! What of?
Tethys.
What of him?
You tell us. I know not of Tethys.
You stand at the feet of Tethys. You would pray with me?
If I knew what he stood for.
He stands for here. He is here. Here he is. And actually you realise that you stood under a skylight, and you can basically see right up to the chocolate starfish of Tethys.
I was going to say, you look
500 or so feet above your head.
right up at the taint. Yeah.
I mean, Lovelore's genuinely curious.
They seem a bit confused by your question. Like, here is the god, and the god, the god is here, and you're like, yeah, but and because you're used to clerics of any stripe or type talking about the aims that they have, but these people, it just seems to be, we've got reverence for this thing, and we're here and we look after. And you ask her a question, but okay, so let's just try something, shall we? Why don't you make an insight check?
Oh no, first roll of the session. It's on me.
Not me.
Oh, well, dude.
Can
That's
we
quite
all
bad.
make an insight check?
Sorry?
Can we all make an insight check?
At least I didn't fumble it.
Yeah.
Well, Lovelaw's having the conversation.
I know, but we're listening to the conversation.
Okay,
so...
that's fine. So everyone else can. Yep.
So
This is before
So
we
is
have
this-
the conversation about food and stuff, JL. So.
is this one of
Can I
those
make a
self-evident
history?
things?
Sorry?
Is this one of those self-evident things?
No.
My mother was always talking about those. I never could see them.
Varro is like, he's just still looking up through the skylight. He's like,
That is a really
Captivated.
big, enormous statue
Sphincter.
thing.
yeah, it's like, I'm like,
So this does explain
Can
why
I-
you're always at the bottom of the stairs when I'm coming down. That's
he's looking up and razor is to shave that lot.
Can I make a history check? See if I've come
yes,
across
please.
Tethys.
Sorry?
Sorry?
So about Tetris,
Can I make
yes.
a history check?
Yes, you may.
Yeah. Okay. That's not any better.
So what you know, with regard to Tethys, is that there is this body of a dead god. I mean, body. You know, one of the things that you do encounter in Wildspace are occasionally dead gods. That's a thing. Bits of dead gods or the whole of dead gods are a thing that you sometimes encounter in Wildspace. This one has been in this position for quite some time, and you know, well, I mean, you know, from what you've seen, you've got an understanding that there is here a group who, you know, seem to have alighted here and chosen Tethys as their god, which isn't really very helpful because Tethys is dead, and unlike live gods who provide, you know, power to their followers, Tethys is not really in a position to do that anymore, because Tethys is now just this husk floating in space. So these people clearly aren't what you would call normal. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
You know, they have to have a slightly warped and skewed view of the world to be in a position to think in this way and to react in this way. And you feel that's fairly, you know, you think that's at least to you that it seems fairly obvious that, I mean, you would probably think they're just nuts, frankly. They're not nuts, they're just quirky. A bit weird.
So what do you guys do for fun around here?
She looks really embarrassed when you ask that question.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
She looks
We
really
get strangers and we force them into latex suits and give them masks. Then we torture them for months.
And then we keep
And
them
we
in a
give
box.
them a really bad German, long, phonetically long get out word that nobody can ever remember. Flugenheimen, Siegenbagen, Liegebund, Argen, Snaken, Snaken.
Great. No one's going to watch our stream in Germany anymore. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, after you said that. Did you have to go that
With
far?
such conviction as well. God damn
I
it.
know. Could have just gone with Snoo Snoo.
You want more snoo snoo? I want snoo snoo.
What, with a broken pelvis?
So, yeah.
Okay, so now that I've got an understanding of Tethys from what I can remember, I'm going to engage in dialogue, but it's going to be about what's happening in the outside world and how corrupt it is, and you know, it's a mystery of corruption and debauchery and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking for, you know, they're looking for news updates about, you know, what's happening on various planets and in various systems and bits and pieces like
hat
that.
stand sellers that that are undersizing their hats on purpose, so it gives you headaches.
And you
you know,
do that.
that
You give
type of
them
stuff.
you know, you give them a thumbnail sketch of some of the, you know, some recent events. You don't need to go, you know, you just kind of give them an overview of what's happening, and they listen. You know, they all listen, kind of with attention. They're all quite interested, and at various points they, you know, and they, you know, and you realise that they're just hungry for a bit of news. They don't, you know, they're out here on their own. Clearly, they don't, in the nicest possible way, get out much, right? They're obviously not travelling around very much. They're only travelling within their local area. There isn't anything out here, and people don't pass by this way. You know.
When was the last time you had visitors?
There you go.
Goodness. Maybe 50 or 60 cycles ago. Yeah, I think it would be that long.
Quite a while then.
Hmm.
What
Wow.
else? What else is in the area apart from the Great
Well,
Tethys?
we have little here. This is I don't know, what would you call it? The arse end of nowhere?
I look up through the skylight.
That's what she's thinking. She's not.
Uh-huh.
I try not to laugh. Yep.
So, oh, no,
At which point she jams in another biscuit.
these are good. I like. They go well. They go well with the mayonnaise.
What are some other structures around here? Are there any others
No.
like this?
There are various asteroids and other rocks around. This is the Reaches after all. Some clouds, but fortunately nothing dangerous. Nothing of much of anything really.
Very good.
Well, I have to salute you on your devotion to Tethys. All hail Tethys. Do they go in with me?
Tethys. Yeah, they do. They all go with you. You say hail Tethys and they all hail Tethys. Yeah.
How many times do they do it? Once or twice?
Once.
Just once. Shit, we need to do it at least 4 times and then we can run. Right.
They don't look like they're ready to stop you. They really do look and feel very genuine in terms of some people have turned up. They wanted to have a chat. They've all kind of excitedly talked to you and at various points and so on and so forth. They've listened to the news that you've passed on, and they don't seem to have very much. They're not, you don't get the impression that they're super rich or any of those kind of things. But they seem to be knocking along, and they seem excited by the idea that people have visited them and they have a conversation. You've been there about an hour. There's no point at which you felt there's any threat. There's not people sneaking off in the background. The worst that's happened is a door's opened at one point, and they've tootled out, and then they've brought some boxes, and they brought them out, and JL has handed over some money, and you're like, what's going on here? And then you realise that she's bought some extra supplies, because just to bolster the supplies that you've got on the ship.
And some carved soap figures.
Okay then. Soap might be welcome. Who knows?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the stories about the Stalker Reaches?
What did that person mention? A door or a pillar or a column or something? I can't remember.
What do you mean? You know the history of the Reaches, yes?
Yes, but I mean, are there places or within it that you have knowledge of that you would be willing to share?
I don't know a great deal, but we wanted to come and find out more for ourselves.
We are travellers.
Even excuse me. You are travelling. You have a destination in mind. You said it was important that you carry on to this destination.
Yes.
So, where are you going?
Well, unfortunately, we can't share that with you. That is for us to know.
And yet you just
Entirely
asked me about the Reaches.
Well,
you're aware of the dangers here?
We're aware of some of them, but if you're local, you may have better knowledge than we do.
But as I said, this area around here is very empty.
Yes, but you also talk to travellers who come through here. We have shared stories with you of where we have been.
Mm-hmm.
If travellers came through, would they not who had come from other areas of the Reaches, would they have not shared tales with you of where they have come from?
We
Which-
rarely get people passing through. We get people who come to see us to trade. Tinkers,
All right. So did any of
other traders.
So what you're saying is that this exchange of knowledge is not so much as an exchange as us just telling you stuff and you listening. You have no knowledge of the Squatter Reaches that you are willing to share with us.
What do you wish to know? You asked me about this area here. Your companion here asked me about this area, and I said this is a very empty area. I pointed out that there are, as there is scattered across the Reaches, and within this region of Wildspace, there are some gas clouds, there are some asteroids, some clouds of rocks with icy and ice and other things. I would be happy to perhaps sketch you out a map if there's particular things, but beyond that, we only travel in a small radius here. You came from in the direction of Vedika.
Mm-hmm.
This way, and she points kind of roughly from where you came from. So, and from what you've just said and what you've told us about the area that you came from Vedika. I don't understand what more I can tell you. I don't have anything more to tell you. There are dangers here, but those dangers are beyond where we travel locally here. You can see our ships. These things are simple. I don't know what you want.
Clearly, you don't have the information that we would need.
What is that information? Is
We
this
do not know.
perhaps related to this secret
we
that
knew
you can't
that
share with us?
You're
If
saying,
we knew
you're
that, we
saying-
would not be asking.
Yeah, you're saying that you don't have it anyway because you only know this region of space. So there's no point us telling you where we're going because you would have no information about it anyway. So fair enough. That's fine.
We don't. I think we basically seek a magnitude for our direction.
Yeah.
The Reaches,
He
parts of the
who
Reaches are
For 5
dangerous.
minutes. But he who never asks remains a fool forever.
Parts of the Reaches are dangerous, but that's beyond our areas here. We travel at most through Wildspace. We travel at most 2 days in any direction, and as I say, we are this area of space is peppered. We don't even have a protoplanet near us. It's peppered with dust, gas, rocks. There are minor hazards around us here. The occasional swarm of spacefaring creatures.
But no scavers in the area.
Scavers? No.
Big. Okay. Good. I guess we can thank you for your hospitality then.
Understood. Your friend seems first to not trust us and then to be offended by our lack of knowledge. We are not travelers like you. We are not knowledgeable like you are.
Well, I think this can go a couple of ways. Let me confer with my crew.
Anyway, that you
Yeah.
hand over the cash,
Okay. Good.
or at least JL does because she committed to it.
How much did it cost you?
I think we should be on our way.
So you basically 4 gold pieces, but you got, I mean, quite a good haul of stuff, and you actually
Excellent.
drop off some.
We got water. We got stuff. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And they help you. They help bring it out to the ship. They don't go on the ship with you, but they help bring it out and kind of, put it all in a nice neat stack.
Even
so
if
you
we
can
don't-
carry it up and put it and load it up.
Even
on
if
the
we
ship.
don't actually
Doesn't take very long.
need it, it's good to have them on. Keep them happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, they don't come on board the ship. You tootle up with it and they're fine. So.
Before I get on the ship, I say to the human, look, we must apologise on behalf of the captain. He's a man who trusts what he knows, and what he doesn't know, he doesn't trust. So, thank you for the drinks. Thank you for the food. And thank you for the conversation.
She
It
does
certainly did me a wonderful break
She does
without having
something
to speak
weird.
to these guys all the time.
She reaches out. She grabs hold of what would be your hand. So basically, the kind of the extension of your arm.
That's not my hand.
Yeah, can you go a bit higher, please, love? Come on.
Hands up here.
And she just holds it, and she touches her forehead to it. Thank you for your graciousness. I am saddened because I don't know what he wants, and I feel like I've been unable to help, and I want to. Please, explain to him. I do want to help. I will help as much as I can, but I don't know what to do. And she lets go, and they all turn, and then they kind of wander back off inside, and then
Have you got?
the doors. Oh, sorry.
Have you got?
I shout
Have you got
back.
a?
No, it's okay. You can speak
Go
before
on.
you go. She goes.
If you've got a bucket or a bowl, I'll leave you some of the mayonnaise. I wouldn't leave it long though.
You did
You
that
won't-
when you were
you won't-
inside, like that, guys. More
Yeah,
mayonnaise,
yeah.
more mayonnaise. And they're like,
Leave it out in the sun.
Yeah, don't. At least
It's not that
don't let it sit for too long. You'll regret it.
they're actually they're all like dipping various things in it. And going, You can see that
Yeah,
mayonnaise is not something they get very often.
Add some spices to it. Make it quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on. Right. So, JL, is this mayonnaise the light version or the full fat version?
It doesn't say on the jug.
Doesn't
Right.
Stay
So
on
the
the
next
jug.
time we come past, they're going to be obese. It's
Great.
your fault.
Well, if she was leaving, 3,000 litres of it, maybe, because
I've
I
been
think
eating
it's
it. I'm
okay.
okay.
You can only make so much in a day.
2 gallons a day of mayonnaise.
2 gallons of mayonnaise a day.
2 gallons
That's
of mayonnaise
a
a
lot of mayonnaise,
day.
man.
Here, have 2 gallons.
Yeah, and if you consume all of that, then Jesus, man. I mean, woman. No wonder you got hips. Don't tell me it all goes to the horns, yeah?
The wine is good. The honey's good. The honey's good.
Mayonnaise queen.
I start to climb the stairs to the wasp, and then I turn around and I shout out after them, "Male Tethys, protect you!"
She's
And then
she's less hell touched than she is hell man's.
Oh dear.
is that a dig at a company for not sponsoring us for tonight?
I know.
Well, we've already bigged up Tetley Tea apparently, which I'm quite disappointed. By the way, not owned by P&G,
And-
owned by Tata.
Starter.
And okay.
Real people.
And
They
the
don't just do
Germans.
steel.
We've
Yeah.
angered the Germans, and I think women with your
Now
hips
we're angering
thing,
the Indians. Yeah.
and probably the Dutch folks for the mayonnaise stuff. So way to go.
Mm-hmm.
All places we can't go.
Hey, we're like our crew.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Come on.
Yeah.
Moving
Now
on.
that it's been refreshed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got to stretch our legs a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the local cuisine.
These
such as it
people,
is.
Mhm.
these people really
Local
dis-
cuisine covered in mayonnaise.
Mm-hmm.
I order all of my sandwiches and mayonnaise. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a whiz at Minesweeper. I can play for days. My fingers
At least
moving
they
so fast they set the place ablaze.
Well, at least they got
Well,
food this
I was
time. and not,
thinking,
not
I
been
mean,
trying to
that
kill
amount
them.
of mayonnaise, you could survive on that.
Yeah.
You know.
A lot of calories.
I mean, don't forget,
Well,
we can survive pretty much
and-
anywhere. I mean, especially in cold climes, because
And
you say a lot
liquid.
of calories, but whatever. The only problem is, your poo would be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
5 days of
that's-
eating mayonnaise, I know.
Mm. Wow.
Need to go again, guys.
I was going to say, yeah, you
Wow.
toilet paper pretty quick, wouldn't you?
I think you just ask your mate to come out with a hose, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
This show's
really-
sponsored by.
possibly.
She's not enjoying this look into the future.
So you set your course from here, and you head out into the deeper into the reaches. And it's much as Wells had described, in that as you fly, you need to constantly pay attention. You pass roiling clouds, small but significantly sized roiling clouds of gas. You pass through fields of smaller asteroids, and at various points you see in the distance larger asteroids. And after a couple of days, you know you're getting to the edge of where the denizens of the Isle of Tethys fly to, and you can feel a change. You can kind of get an understanding of that. You're still on the same course. You're still, very, very solidly and resolutely flying pretty much in one direction. You know which way you're going. But you notice a shift in the pattern of Wildspace. You notice more. You fly through more areas that have got big clouds of little bits of leftover debris of things. You're not quite sure, and this speaks to this fact that at some point the Scortha Reaches was a system, and then some cataclysm befell the star, and that remnants of the star are now scattered across the reaches, and the planets that comprise this system
I'm an Ethis guy.
were
Tetley.
torn up and again spread out across this. Perhaps the death of Tethys was what led to this cataclysm, or perhaps the cataclysm caused the death of Tethys at the same time as the catastrophic destruction of this system. But it is lost to history. The Scortha Reaches have been like this for a very long time, and it is.
I think it was Muggsy Lightstep
You're so used to
and
flying.
his crew.
Well, he just turned up with a match, didn't he?
Yeah. Once that mountain went boom, that was it. The echoes went across the wild space like wildfire.
Great.
And so this area is just there's a lot of debris, and there are points at which Lovelore there's a for about 5 or 6 hours where you're forced inside because you're flying along and there is just bits of debris
Gravel.
rattling off the outside hull, not causing any particular issues, but it is really noticeable. And then 4 days after visiting the Idol of Tethys, body of Tethys, one should perhaps think. You exit a kind of a wispy cloud of brightly coloured gas, and in the distance you see these two huge stone pillars just sort of hanging in space. Nothing around them, just sitting there, and you're immediately like, well, that must be the pillars of Zarn. It must be. It has to be.
Okay.
How many days did you say this was from Tethys?
About 4 days from Tethys.
Dale's making
an updated map,
Mm-hmm.
just in case anything's changed.
Okay.
We now have a magnitude.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So-
now a vector.
You reach you're heading in towards these pillars, and they are huge. I mean, these things are massive, and as you're flying towards them, it's really disconcerting, because you've got these two huge carved stone pillars. They're circular and they're fluted and they're finished beautifully. You're kind of flying in towards them, and they're just sat there in space. Were they part of
Ionic,
another structure?
Doric,
Were
No,
they
just
carved here?
Corinthian?
And if so, how? Were they somehow willed into existence? It's entirely unclear.
are they bigger than Tethys?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a portal for the
It-
gods.
Each one
It's a
is
gateway.
about. Well, no. I mean, this is the thing: as you're flying towards it, there's just nothing, just hanging there. Each one is probably about a mile long. And the
Are they
whole
pla-
edifice,
are they
because they are joined top and bottom. It's all. I mean, it's all
Okay.
beautifully carved, like it's like you would see carving on a monumental building, but it's just vast. Who did this and why? It's just entirely unclear. These things just hang in space, and you decide you kind of get in towards them, hoping that maybe they've got an air envelope or something like that, but they haven't. They're just dead. They're just these dead rocks, and you notice that they just seem devoid of anything. That perhaps there's a few bits of muck and grit on them in places, but they're just
Okay.
just dead bits of
for
rock.
information, how long will our air last? Normally,
Your air will
Pressure.
last comfortably for about 15 days.
Okay.
Okay.
So we know our turn back point.
You can do 20. You actually pushed out to about 17 to get to the Idol of Tethys. About 18 days actually to get to the Idol of Tethys. You can push to 20. Beyond 20, it starts getting uncomfortable. 25 days is when you start getting that's too much.
Thick. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get very, very sick.
all right. So bingo air is 10 days.
Yep.
Maybe 12.
Let's
4 days in from Tethys.
That's right. Yep. Okay.
okay.
Very good. So again, you set your course and you head off, and you are flying through sort of debris. In the distance, off the left, you see there's a protoplanet which appears to be forming. There's some larger body, but it's wreathed with gas and bits of rock. If you see occasionally rock striking it, so you think it must be a larger body, but it's far off to your kind of off to your port side and distance. But you see that for about a day over there.
And that gas presumably wouldn't be breathable.
No, you don't think so. It's not like it's not like a planet. It looks like it's a planet that's forming. It looks like something that's forming. But what's interesting, after about a day, you notice this very large, dark, ominous patch in the sky, actually to the starboard side of your flight path, and it's a huge area. You're going to pass not far from the edge of it, but you're not going to intersect with it. And it's really noticeable.
Is that blob on the map, do you think?
Yeah, you think it probably is. You think it's probably marked, and you think that perhaps that circle with a line through it means don't go here.
Yeah.
Can we have the map back?
Try and avoid that as much as possible then.
My apologies. I have moved myself to the map and not you folks. I do apologise.
That's fine.
There we go. Yeah.
That's more like it, isn't
That's all right. We're used to that on a Wednesday.
So we might skirt to the side of it, or of course it might have got bigger since the map was drawn or moved.
Supposedly we're looking for something bright up ahead, so
Yeah,
potentially.
and blobby looking.
Yeah.
So day 2, you pass within probably about 50 miles of the edge of this cloud. It's weird because you're so used to Wildspace being, you know, brightly coloured, and this area is just dark and black. And occasionally you see sort of silvery flashes of light from within it, and it just doesn't look inviting. So you think, well, fair enough, we'll avoid that. And it fills a huge part of space. Huge spot.
So if we break for a couple of seconds, or a minute,
Yep, we can certainly have a break. How long do you want to break for?
it's normal 5 minutes or so before.
Okay, so that's not a problem. What we'll do is we'll take a 5-minute break now, and we'll be back shortly. And we're back. So, you're looking for something bright. And after another day, you start to see what you take to be Taminis.
The running gummy bear? Yeah.
I can't unsee that now, can I? So it's a fairly sizable and bright asteroid, which is spinning slowly in the sort of slightly gloomier part of the reaches that you're in at the moment. And the source of its brightness isn't really clear to you. You don't know where. It doesn't seem to be reflecting light. It seems to be kind of lit almost internally. And you fly towards it so you can get the right position to carry on. And you all, as you're flying past, you've got this. There's something about it that unsettles you. When you look at it directly, its surface is rocky and static, but every so often, sort of out the corner of your eye, you swear that its surface is writhing and pulsating with some kind of sickly semblance of life, and it gives all of you the creeps. You were weirded out by the big cloud of black, which still dominates part of the sky, but this is altogether weirder. So you try not to get too close to it, and instead just take your next vector and head off.
Yeah.
Deeper and deeper into the reaches. You really are in uncharted territory, or it feels like that to you at this point. You're really off the beaten track. You wouldn't know. There's no life out. There's no civilization out here. There's nowhere that you can, there's no port that you can flee to.
Great. How are we doing on air?
You're fine. So that was 3 days from the Pillars of Zarn to Terminus.
Okay.
Okay. Even if it had air and you're not sure that it does, you're not sure you want to land there.
That place is creepy.
Yeah, you're
2
telling
days
me.
pass.
Ooh,
You've
that's
gone
9 days.
around the back side of this huge black cloud. The direction has taken you deeper and deeper into the reaches. I mean, theoretically, you could head home from here, but you're not sure. I like the way that Rob is still trying to measure the distance between between the drawings.
Yeah.
Despite the fact I've said it's not to scale, he's like,
No, it's
It's in a
when I,
cracked code.
when I was on the measuring distance thing,
yeah.
my cursor goes different colours depending on whereabouts on the map I put it.
Your cursor? You mean the measuring stick?
No, the cursor, the mouse cursor, it changes from a cursor to a plus
Yeah.
when you go to the measuring tool, and depending on where I put it on the map, it changes colour.
Yeah, that's because it's
It's quite cool.
doing an invert, isn't it?
So I'll
The
just be
colours.
pissing about with it.
Yeah.
It's actually sort of transparent, so you can see through it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's,
That's
it's basically doing a
Yeah.
colour inversion, isn't it, of what's underneath it?
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's also the control L.
So I
on
can sort of
coping,
like see the
you
grid
know.
lines almost. It looks like, I think that's what it's given me, is the grid lines,
Hmm.
which is quite cool. That's all.
Mm.
All right.
It doesn't do it on the mouse pointer when you go back to
No.
select.
Because that's big
It
and
doesn't
white.
do it
isn't
then. Yeah, it's just a big white arrow thing. But yeah, I just thought it was intriguing. Okay, so if we don't need to stop to replenish air, let's go over to Durinis.
2 more days.
Yeah.
And you think you found what is marked on the map as Durinis. And it's a cloud, well, a loose agglomeration of what looked like a kind of crystalline, rocky asteroids, and along with them is a light, a source of light, which is from one of the fragments of the star. And as you get closer, it's actually quite fun because these rocks are sort of tumbling and spinning in space, and off the facets of the rock, you get these kind of little beams of light. And as you get closer, the beams kind of you kind of dance. It's almost like this kind of disco ball, a glitter ball effect across the surface of the
Yeah, exactly.
ship.
Dancing on
Doesn't
the,
look like there's much here, but
We need some music.
it is quite mesmerising to watch. It makes you
Do
feel
any of
good
these
after
asteroids?
this journey
I'm sorry.
so far.
Do any of the asteroids look that they're large enough to have an air envelope of some sort?
No. No, they don't.
How far are we now from Tethys?
7, 8, 9. We're already more than 10 days out.
You're 9 days
we?
out.
If you look at the map, you
We're
don't
9
know.
days out.
Mhm.
No, because it was 3, 4.
4 days to here.
Yeah.
Okay, 4,
3 days to here.
5, 6, 7.
2 days to here.
Okay. Okay.
It might be quicker going the other side of that big cloud. We don't know what's on the original map.
That is true. We cut across. Try and get a vector directly
Okay.
back.
But we're here. So
So
we may
as,
as well
as
see
way-
we're
it.
there is a way
all
through there.
looking at the stars and what have you, I get my Zolcoon out and start pumping it up.
Oh, nice. Dish, dish, dish. Oh yeah, with the lights that are flashing and his Zoltan, that's fine. That's mighty fine.
Works for me.
I wish we
Okay.
weren't on a journey. I'd be drinking. This is great.
So anywhere in during this, we can see where there are sort of 3 of these asteroids, sort of, I'm guessing, flying in a circle.
No.
Then,
No, there's another vector here.
Oh, that is another vector.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is somewhere else. So this is
Right.
what I was saying earlier. This area that's mapped out like this. Yeah, I'm just pegging the corners of at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is Uranus here, and then there is this line here that comes down,
Yeah.
and then this shows that it's an exploded.
Oh,
section.
okay, right, yeah. Okay. Well, we can't afford to spend too long
No.
searching for it. So yeah, let's keep going fast as we can, but really.
Yeah.
Always maximum speed.
Yes, yeah.
2 more days, and then in the distance, you see them. A sort of very much in its own space, a large spherical cloud of crystal shards picking up and glinting in the light. It's almost like a perfect sphere. And as you get closer, you see right on the periphery a black octahedron.
Okay.
Okay.
What is that?
Is there
Yeah,
a
sure.
symbol on the octahedron as we get close enough to have a look at it?
So as you're getting closer to it, what you notice is that it's top and bottom. So the midpoint has there's a bit that sticks out, which you realise is large enough for you to land your ship on. It's actually a good chunky section. This thing's starting to resolve itself, so you get a better idea of the size of it as you get closer.
That's
the main-
no moon.
Oh no, it's not that big. It's not that big. It's big enough that you can see it, but you could see it really against the white of the crystal, because of the way that the light is refracting through this big cloud of crystals. You could kind of see it because it was standing out against that. It was very tiny, but as you get closer, it is getting bigger. You think it's probably as you're getting closer and closer, it's about 800 feet high. So each of the pyramids is about 400 feet in each direction. So from the midpoint, 400 and 400 feet. Okay.
Pretty big.
So it's big. It's a big size. Good chunky things down in space. And what you realise is that there is as I say, there is this landing pad. And what you do is you kind of swing to the side, and you look, and it looks like you can see from the side, and then you can see an opening into the kind of the upper pyramid. You can't get much of an impression. You can get closer if you want to. Want to get closer?
I think we should edge
Is
closer.
there a shape to the opening? Like, is it circular or
No, it's
has-
it's just a big archway.
Yeah.
a big archway?
But there's no symbol on the
No teeth.
As you get no
Just check.
symbol, no, there's no symbols on this. This is just plain black.
It's actually
Almost
a
like
No
they
giant-
are
lashing
about solid
tongue that
block
tries
of
to
basalt.
stick us.
It's actually a giant mimic.
Mhm. What? Well, I think it's worth getting close just to see if there's any atmosphere,
Yeah.
because we're at the turnaround point.
And these are marked for a reason, so there must be some purpose to why they're indicated.
So you drift in close, but you're standing off a couple of 100 feet. You can see this opening, and you can see some stuff kind of inside, but you're not getting a very good idea. But what you can see is that on the opposite side of the of this octahedral object hanging in space, you can see that there's a window. There's a circular window that looks out the other side. So
Circular.
the
Okay.
kind of the upper section, it looks like there's a floor to it. There's some other stuff in there, but you're not really getting a very good impression of what that is just from the distance that you're at and the angle that you're at. You really need to land and get out and have a look if you want to do that.
Yep.
You're not seeing any
Let's
people or
get
anything.
out and have a look.
Let's go in. Let's have a look.
Okay, so you inch in and you drop down and you just land nice and smoothly and pop open the door. This has got an air envelope.
Open the
Now, that
doors.
air
Let's,
envelope-
let's freshen this stuff up.
Well, the air envelope is noticeably. I don't want to use the word stale to mean like it's been used, like it's used air, but it feels ancient, right?
Okay.
It feels like no one's
Used.
really breathed it for a very long time, yeah?
Well, that's probably a good.
It's got kind of a
Yes.
metallic
Yeah.
sort of.
This is going to feel weird to breathe for the next fortnight.
But it's clean.
Yeah.
Is the structure crystalline? Is it stone? I mean, if
You're
it's
gonna get
like
out and have a look,
crystalline,
You're going to get out and sort of
yeah.
Yeah.
examine it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
It's almost
through
like
the
it's
arch.
been formed out of it literally almost feels like it's been carved out of a single piece of rock. It's so precise.
Okay.
It's like a carved stone, but you can't see any seams. But also, it's very black, and it's almost absorbing the light. You almost get no. It must be matte. The surface. It's not reflecting. You know how black things normally you can see a little bit of light reflected off them. This one's just not doing that, and it's really difficult on your eyes to look at. It's really hard for you to see.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it's not the easiest things. I mean, it could be like, for example, there could be a pit 20 feet in front of you and you couldn't see it. You with me?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good camouflage, though.
Well, it's a wonder we could see this thing at all from the outside.
You saw it simply because it
Oh.
was because of its against the
Yeah, the backdrop.
the kind of the bright white light of this crystalline cloud.
This,
This
got it.
cloud of these little small lumps of crystal. I say small lumps; they're big lumps. But now you're closer up. You can get the scale of some of them are quite large, kind of up to sort of Dodge Ram sized kind of lumps, and some smaller ones, kind of from fist size up to sort of Dodge
Is it
Ram.
black
But,
like a disaster area stunt ship?
sorry.
Is it black like a disaster area stunt ship?
Yes. A black light lit up on the black control panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, remember where we parked. Okay.
Do any of you guys have a capability to generate some light?
It's not dark.
Yeah, but I don't want to fall in a pit.
The thing is, it's not reflective. You're not sure you would see it. You'd be better off with a stick in front of you, frankly.
Ah, jeez. Is it worth exploring, or should we just press on?
Yeah.
Once
The nice
we've
thing is, you do have air.
Let's
Smells
go
very
and
funny, but it's air.
see what's.
As well explore while we're
Yeah.
here. And
We'll
let know what
lock the
we're
ship
looking
up
for.
and take the keys.
All right.
From all the treasure maps that I've ever seen, things of importance are always recorded. Things that aren't important, like dead bodies and where they were buried, are never recorded. So
All right.
for these things to be on here, I think it might be important.
Well, okay. I mean, I would take. I would say things that are important, like traps and secret doors, are also never recorded. So.
That's because nobody can ever find them.
I reach over my shoulder, grab a couple of javelins, and hand them out to a couple of folks.
Yep.
And I'll tap along like a blind man
Yep.
as we're sort of
That's
moving
fine.
down in here.
Yeah. It is quite disconcerting, as I said, just simply because you know where the floor is, you feel the floor, but it just isn't reflecting any light. It's a bit weird that it's not really absorbing it, it's just,
Yeah.
it's just not reflective. So it is a bit strange walking into this this black monolithic building.
I've got an idea. Why don't we leave a trail of mayonnaise behind?
Not a bad idea.
I've got a
In all
gallon
honesty.
left.
You know
I've got a
what?
gallon left.
Mayonnaise and a bellows.
Yeah. I think we'll soon see the ground is.
Yeah. That
This
would
is
work.
Make some
Wow.
changes to the Zolcoon, and we've got the bellows then, haven't we?
Let's try it. Let's try it. Don't stand on it because you'll go flying.
Oh dear.
So leaving a trail of mayonnaise, the team progresses further into the...
So you walk forward, and you walk underneath this arch. It's on the sloped side of the building, so it's an arch that comes down, but the side of the building, obviously, it's a pyramid, right?
Mhm.
You walk inside, and the floor, as far as you can tell, the floor is flat. I mean, there could be drops or whatever, but in front of you, in the center of the pyramid, is a dais, and it rises to a height of about 30 feet, and it's about 50 feet in diameter, so it's sat up, and there's a set of stairs that you can see. Again, it's kind of almost like you kind of having to do this to see what the things are, but there's a set of steps that lead up to it and lead up to the top, and you can just about see something on top. You're not quite sure what that might be or what it is. As far as you can tell, inside here, the walls and everything rises up to the full point. So you're inside this huge pyramid.
Yeah.
This looks like a job for our rogue.
I will go and take a look as well as I can, given that I can't actually see anything.
Don't get any mayonnaise on your feet. You might slide around and slip.
He gets his guitar out and starts strumming.
Yeah.
Banjo. You'd have a
And
banjo.
then Shaggy whispers to Lovelore, he's not going to produce more mayonnaise with that strumming, I tell you.
No.
But don't forget the
Okay.
Here we go.
Are you? What are you doing? Are you just walking up the stairs?
investigation.
Yeah.
For what?
Check the steps over, see if they're
Okay.
trapped, anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, you check them. The only thing that weirds you out slightly is that the steps themselves are slightly higher than is comfortable.
Maybe
Right,
for a
you know,
giant.
Each
Or an elf.
tread of each step is just slightly
Yeah.
higher than you would normally be comfortable with. It's fine.
But it's not fully giant high.
No, not on giant height. No.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right.
But larger, slightly larger than is comfortable for you, Varro.
Can I do
Not really.
a history check, see if there's anything I remember from my archaeology days at the university? That kind
You
of stuff.
can, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Nothing comes to mind. This all seems a little
I'm
strange.
Really rolling badly today.
Yeah. Highest roll today is a 12. Is that right?
So we're going to do an investigation.
Yeah.
Check the
So-
stairs over.
Yeah. Use some, maybe just put some dust on the surface. That.
You check over. I mean, you don't check all the way up. You just check the stairs that you can reach up to
Yeah.
from where you are, and you poke about. The thing you do from a distance is you poke at the various bits of the floor with the javelin that Lovelore handed you, and you poke things,
Yep.
and you feel it all over, and you're thinking it just feels like it feels solid. I mean, it might not be. It's always a risk, and you realise that. But you start to creep up the stairs.
Yeah, I'm. You guys stay down there. I'm going up.
Do you want a rope?
Okay.
Do you want a rope
Yeah.
tied around you so we can?
If something does happen, we've got hold of you.
30 feet. We got a 100-foot rope. Anybody?
I've got some rope.
Yeah, I'll pull a rope out of my pack, tie it around myself, and chuck the end to.
Let me guess. You got a silk rope?
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. Actually, maybe I might have. Yeah, could be.
That'd be a much lighter and more comfortable than a big old hempen rope as you go up
No.
there.
Hemp
Okay.
rope.
All right. All
you
good.
You tie it off. Just you actually tie it kind of around underneath your arms and just knot it so that
Make a little.
just in case. And Lovelord stands at
Make
the
a little
other end and
harness.
pays it out.
Oh yeah. I give it a couple of
And
tugs just to make sure it's firm.
You wander up the stairs to the top. So you get to the top, and it's just this plain circular dais. You can see through the window. I mean, the window's, a big, large, significant part of the side of the pyramid. It must be 100 feet across. This window in diameter. So you can see out into this cloud. It looks like you're facing directly into the center of the cloud of crystal, crystalline blobs, and you on top you can see that in front of you, in the center of this dais, rising from the floor, so as in it sticks out the floor, not that it's moved, sticking out the floor is a pillar, a circular pillar, and you kind of walk gingerly and carefully over it, but you get up to it, so you have a look at the top, and on top of the pillar are two holes, depressions in it, and they look like they are designed for hands to be placed into them. They look like, for want of a better way of describing it, handprints, but they're larger than yours, Ovlor. Your hands would fit in there comfortably, but the spaces, the gaps are larger, and they look almost shaped to be for hands to be placed in them.
Okay, so looking at the hands, are there any other indications, or are they just sort of generalized hands? If they were draconic, they might have like longer fingers.
I see what you're saying. They are shaped. They don't have a particular shape like that. What they are is they are basically this shape.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So like a hand shape. I've simplified slightly, but they are like a hand shape. As I say, they're larger than yours, but you could comfortably fit your hands inside them.
Okay.
When you say inside, is it like way down his wrists?
No,
he's not going to see
no.
his hands.
They're shallow depressions. They're about
Shallow.
an inch. They're about an inch deep at their deepest point. So he could lean over and put his hands inside those holes, and they are aligned directly out the window. So like you would stand in front of it, you put your hands in there while you're looking at the window.
Are you yelling down and telling us what you're seeing?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah.
Does it feel like a spell jamming helm?
Oh, good question. John?
No.
Okay.
No, you don't get the sense of it being like a helm, like being something that you could attune to. You haven't touched it yet, though. Perhaps by touching it, by touching the pillar or something, that might be different. You haven't touched anything other than your boots on the floor and your hands on the stairs. You haven't touched anything.
What do you think, guys? Should I try it?
Yeah.
Somebody got a monkey they can try out with.
I know. Where's the monkey when we need it?
Hello.
John, I sort of
Go on, go for it.
I reel in the rope, John, to where if he starts screaming, I can yank.
You're pretty much at the limit of the rope anyway.
I'm just thinking
Okay.
Shaggy could make his hands bigger to fit. Lovelord's hands are bigger than mine anyway. Might be perfect. Who knows?
Lovelord's hands would still fit comfortably in the depressions, you think, because they are quite a bit bigger than yours, but they're still not.
No, I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Give it a go.
All right. So you're going to take your hands and you're going to put them into the depressions.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you do this. You place both of your hands into the holes and you wait for a moment. And
Here we go.
everyone waits. And
Nothing's happening, guys.
deep beneath your feet, everyone hears this slight rumble and then a hum
Ah,
of
no.
machinery
Mhm.
starting up.
Ooh.
Mhm.
You feel magic coursing into your body, and you feel the machinery is starting slowly to begin to build to something. And then you feel that your life force is being drained away.
I'm getting out there.
Hang on, hang on,
Hang on. Your
hang on.
life force.
Yeah, you got to keep on holding it.
Take 5 hit points of damage. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Are you going, whoa, and yanking your hands out?
Well, it depends how fast it's being drained. How fast?
It's being drained. That was about. Ooh, I mean, you'd been the kind of the initial rev up period was about 30 seconds, something like that, and then suddenly you felt your life was being drained. You're like, ooh, holy cow, what's going on here?
Okay, I'm going to give it another few seconds.
Okay, you're going to give it another few seconds. Okay, it's definitely
Bravery on the self.
draining. It's definitely draining your life force away from you. Take
Okay,
another 3 hit points of damage.
I'm going to take my hands out.
Okay, right. There is a very particular kind of clunk noise that kind of almost rattles throughout the whole thing, and then a sort of and everything falls silent.
While he was doing that, we're obviously studying the stairs and the surrounding areas. Is anything being triggered? Anything moving? Anything being created?
As far as
Anything
you
change?
can tell, nothing seems to have moved in the space in which you're stood, but it certainly felt like things were happening beneath your feet. But there's not, you didn't see any, the walls didn't move, the floor didn't move, as far as you can tell. And you are, you're on it. Everyone is watching, everyone's watching around, looking around, paying attention. And didn't look like anything had happened there.
Okay, I'll explain to the guys what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that thing was.
So-
I could feel it draining my life force. So I took my hands out. It didn't stop me taking my hands out.
Yeah.
Nope. You could just lift them out. It wasn't like you were locked in place. You weren't.
Yeah.
I wonder
You
if
could
So
feel
we
it
we've
dragging
got-
your life away from you.
Yeah. We've got air, right?
Yeah.
We've got water.
Mayonnaise.
So and mayonnaise. So
Yeah.
one or two things here. Either this means nothing and we can just cruise straight on through to the center point, or we're gonna have to fly to each of these stupid things and then lose hit points and heal ourselves. Or we're gonna have to do it all at once, leaving people on different ones. And what do you think?
I'm
Any-
thinking the last
any or
option
all
you
of
just said there.
those,
I'm
yeah.
thinking it's that we have to leave somebody on each one
There's
to
three of
open
them
up
for a
something
reason.
else.
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe it needs to. It's been here. It seems like it's been here a long time, so it may need to charge itself up, and life force is a convenient way of it doing that.
Blood magic.
But pump
It always comes down to blood magic.
of life force
I
into
knew it.
yeah.
I
before it
mean,
comes-
the other two have different symbols, so they may have different effects, possibly.
That's
I don't
also-
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just different
It might
shaped
take
windows.
limbs off of us.
Yeah, true.
And it may be that you weren't the right person for that particular console. So maybe somebody
Yeah.
else should try
The,
and see if the same thing happens. Or maybe a few of us should try.
the interesting insight is that it wasn't painful.
Hmm.
You could feel it, but there was no pain associated with it. Normally when you take damage or
Yeah.
if you have something's sucking the life out of you, it's like, oh, it's painful, but it wasn't.
Mhm.
It wasn't
Okay.
Donation
comforting
of
either.
life.
It was none of those things, but it wasn't painful in a particular way. It wasn't aggressive. It was like
A thoughtful
it was just
Mm.
leeching the life out of you.
Yeah.
So let's see if you heal. Or you start feeling better.
Okay. Let me cast a cure wounds spell.
Because if you get you get to feeling better, not to meta game it, but if you get to feeling better, then this is something we might be able to just do.
You cast your spell on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and the spell takes effect.
I rolled 2 dice there.
Yeah, you did.
11?
Yeah,
level?
but 11 would be right because it's D8 plus 3. So I guess the D8 plus 3.
Yeah.
But we
That's
rolled
an
for
eight.
some reason.
That's a nice result, then.
Second.
So you cast the spell, and you know the spell works.
Yeah.
But whatever it did to you, it hasn't had... The spell doesn't repair.
That's what I was worried about.
It's as if the magic is elusive. Something has been taken from you, which is just strange. It feels odd. You feel strangely detached. Again, you don't... It's not painful, but it doesn't repair whatever the damage is that's been done to you.
Okay.
Now,
That's
hear me out.
disconcerting.
Sorry?
Now hear me out.
That's
Now hear me out. We
disconcerting.
go back to the cult, grab 3 people.
Oh,
Just,
right.
just a thought.
It's like the voyages of Christopher Columbus all over again. You lot, you're coming with me, but we don't want it. Don't. Yeah, you are. Great.
Got a job for you.
Hmm.
Charm person. There we go. We're sorted.
A voyage of discovery.
Yep.
I have discovered that they
More fun
died
for
when
some
I took
than
them back
others.
to Europe. Meh, let's go get some more.
Oh no.
Hmm. You'll love England. It's warm, no rain, just like home.
Well, no hurricanes. So.
Oh.
Well, fair enough.
No, but we do have some tornadoes.
Now, if you let us do some more fracking, you'll start having some earthquakes. So
Yeah, well, East Anglia is tornado capital of the world, apparently.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we've got a few regiments of tornadoes around, haven't we?
I think they
Anyway.
retired. Let's go ahead. Yeah.
Do you think?
So what do you think?
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay.
I
anything
think
anyone else-
I think that
This magic stuff.
yeah, I don't know what I think. I'll be honest with you guys. I think Varro should carry on draining his life force. See what happens.
No.
He's
Looked
a
like he
good
was having
captain that
fun.
way. Yeah, he's a good captain that way. He leads by example.
I think we need to try someone with a radically different metabolism.
Oh, me.
Don't
That'll
know.
be Lovelore then.
That'll be, yeah.
That's Shigurus, isn't
Someone maybe who doesn't have a rigid skeleton.
Yeah.
That'll be Lovelore then.
it? Rude! Rude!
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to lose their life force for this,
I mean,
Not
Problem with
especially because we
Shigurus
don't
is he's
even
got no
know
backbone.
exactly
Yeah,
what we're getting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind giving it a go.
So
Should
worst
we,
case,
What hit points?
worst case
Should we just
scenario.
get back on the ship
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
and then try and land in the whatever it is?
Yep.
Middle.
Because we're supposed to land on a surface.
Yep. Let's
You've
go.
got the
let's-
3 diamond things with things on them, but then it clearly looks like it's like a planetary surface with a temple or
Some-
a house or something.
So as far
So-
as we see, is there anything stopping us from just flying straight into this thing?
So,
We've got oxygen.
So the cloud, the spherical cloud of crystalline stuff is quite is quite densely packed. If you fly into it, you know that you're going to hit the kind of asteroidy things, the bits of rock. You are definitely going to hit them.
We can't pick our way
Whether
through.
that's going to be a big problem or not, you're not sure.
Has anything changed outside
Nope.
when he stuck his hands in the?
Nope.
We need to try another.
I need to try another one of the.
But it could be that we might have to drain finishes doing whatever the mechanism's supposed to do.
What about instead of life force? What if one of our magic users were to throw a cantrip into it?
Well, I'm wondering whether to chuck a cure wounds spell at the pillar itself.
We could try both magical and divine.
Yeah.
Obviously, the key is that so far you've seen one of these things on the map. 3 are marked.
Yeah,
Yep.
it could be
See the
something
other two.
different.
Yeah.
So they have different symbols on them. So yeah, why don't we try out the other two maybe?
Yeah, there's nothing stopping us, and they're probably closer, and we have oxygen. So let's go look.
Time. Yeah.
You know,
Okay, follow the mayonnaise back.
maybe one of them gives life back. I don't know.
Okay. So you hop back into the ship. Who's flying?
Ooh, Vero.
I don't think it matters apart from Varo.
No. I think it does matter. I'd like Vero to try and see if he can lift off.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, good.
Tethered to
I was
the
just
sensor.
concerned that something had been taken from you that shouldn't have been.
Let's go to the next one that we can see.
You can't see any from here, but what you do is you
We'll
assume
just
that
work
they are based on the alignment that you can just fly around.
Yeah.
And as you start to fly, you see another one in the distance. So I'm going to
Okay.
assume that you're going to go round clockwise at this point
Yeah.
and fly to the next
Question: Are they on the same plane
one. Yes.
of this?
Yes.
okay.
They are
Well-
essentially orbiting around or sitting in a stationary position in what is effectively an orbital ring, or the you assume there's a third one, but you haven't seen it yet. But you've seen 2 now, and that's where they are. They're in this ring around this sphere, so they're basically at the equator, standing just beyond the cloud of stuff. Varro, you take
Yes.
off in the ship. So you guys have this conversation. You go back to the ship. You take off,
See it.
and you reckon it's been about 10 minutes since you put your hands on the pillar, and suddenly you just feel something within you just be released, and you feel recovered. All of your hit points are back.
Okay.
All
As
mayonnaise
if
all
part
over
of
the
your life force
house.
was being
Excellent.
held in abeyance by something, and then just gently released back into you.
All right. I'll
You are fully recovered.
guys. I've got my life force back.
Good.
Wow. So, communication is key here. If we were to drop 3 people off, how would we know when to begin training ourselves if that became a requirement?
Well, that would be
Timing,
a good question.
purely timing.
Yeah. I mean, you would. It seems that it was a bit variable how much was drained, so you wouldn't want
Per
to.
round, yep.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to take it too low. Definitely not.
Okay, so it takes you a number of hours to fly to the next one. A couple of hours. You fly and you land, and you
Yep.
see that this
Couple
one
hours.
is otherwise completely identical to the other one from the outside. You can see the landing pad. You can see the archway that leads to the interior. But the difference is that the window that points out is triangular.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go inside the pyramid, the dais
Same
on
concept.
which the pillar sits is triangular, rather than so the dais itself is triangular, and you climb up the steps, and at the top of the steps is this pillar sticking out the ground with the two handholds.
Who wants to try this one?
So it's
Okay.
otherwise identical to the
Barrow.
one that was circular.
No, someone else can try it.
I'll try this one.
I have the rope around Vera. I keep it tight.
No, Gail's just volunteered.
JL walks past you and goes, boop.
Okay. When JL puts her hands on the pillar, I want to put one of my hands on JL to see if anything transfers through.
Okay.
Ooh, transference.
One hand in the tail.
Are you putting both hands, or
Yeah, both
you're putting
hands.
both hands in? Okay. So you put your
Well,
hands in.
you swap consciousness. It's a Freaky Friday.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah. JL just falls into a puddle. And,
Yeah, because I've got no idea how much concentration is
and-
required to.
That's
yeah.
right. And Shaggy's like, bones!
I'm trapped, rigid.
I'm horribly solid.
This isn't good. It's like being in stone all over again.
So again, kind of roughly about 30 seconds, you hear this rumbling and this sound from deep within the structure below you, and then you too feel your life force starting to be drained. 4 hit points.
Ow. Well, it's not painful. As you said. Yeah, it's drinking the life force.
Do you want to go longer? Just since
Yeah.
we know that what we think.
I've got a decent pool of points.
I think we need the person with the most life force should be up here, but
Are you
The
going
one with the
longer?
big hands.
I've got the second highest life force.
Are you keeping your hands in there?
Yeah, keep it a little longer and see.
All right.
I'll get I'll see if I'll keep going, and if I get down to like 10 points, I'll stay.
That's 2 more.
is Shaggy
I
feeling apart from JL?
No impact at all on Shaggy. None whatsoever. Okay. A few more moments.
Stay on for a
pass.
little bit longer, JL.
3 more.
Can I
No.
see anything outside? Making
Nope.
any? Nope. Okay.
Okay, let's switch. So you take your hands off the dais, and I'll put my hands on.
Okay, you going to do that? You going to put your hands away?
Mhm.
Yeah?
I mean, slide them. There's not much
One
break.
hand at a time.
Yeah, one hand at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. You take your hand out, and Shaggy puts his hand into the
Pseudo
into
hand.
space, into the place. And immediately, as soon as you draw that hand out, you
Done.
hear the clunk, and then you hear the whole machinery powering down. And Shaggy's like, "Ooh!"
Nothing from Shaggy.
And Shaggy's got his
Pseudo hand.
hands in there, and it's not responding to Shaggy at all.
I'll go back.
yeah.
I'll go back on again.
No. I think from what I'm hearing, I think this is a timing thing. And the windows all
Okay.
face across this thing.
Hmm.
They're not
So basically-
facing each other.
They're not. And
No, they are not.
We're
They're facing
talking-
into the center of this cloud.
okay, we need to measure out in time the distance between these locations,
Okay.
so that because the draining of life force is fast compared to our flight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it takes hours to get between the
About 2 hours.
stations.
Yeah.
A couple of hours, yeah.
So if
You'll
we
find
were
a
to
curve, but-
so first person's dropped off, 2 hours pass, 4 hours pass, and the ship's still coming back around, and then we're doing the math in our head, and then everybody's trying to put their hands on. It's got to be tight, or we're dead.
Practically speaking, to coordinate between all three locations precisely like that is not something that you can do.
Yeah. We would need a clock to within a second.
You would need very accurate clocks, and you don't have.
Not only
how
that,
fast
but
dropping off. So
but
the
not
other
only that,
option is
Rob?
I was
Listen,
just going
Rob.
to say, not only that, but it's after you've actually got down to a depleted life force. If it's 2 hours to go and pick up from one to the other, then that's 4 hours travel. Everything will have died down and reset. So, could it be that there's another theory? You drain the life force, and then you're spirited down to the planet's surface. And then down on the planet's surface, there is another mechanism that then drains your life force and brings you
I'm not
back up to
playing
the
that.
obelisks.
Not
But
playing that
then
game.
there's only 3 of them. So there's on the maps. There might be more.
Okay, I climb up the
You would have
stairs.
to die to discover whether you
No.
were right in that.
They're not playing that game. I come up the stairs, John,
Mm-hmm.
and now the whole rope is up there too. Sort of sucks for climbing, but look, let's give this a shot and see if we can get this thing turned on.
Mhm.
I'm willing to go down to to where I feel pretty dang bad. So let's give this a shot. And I'll put my big fat hands in the
Well, how
In
many
the
hit points
holes.
have you got?
40.
So you can
So
go
it's
to at
not-
least 38 then.
I went
You
from
bastard.
32 to
Bastard.
23, so I still had quite a few left.
No, I have 41 hit points, so I'll play this game.
You also got
Let's see if
bigger.
we can get this thing. Let's see this thing. If we can jumpstart this thing.
Put your hands in, and weirdly, JL, you feel immediately better. Whatever was holding on to that piece of life force of yours releases it as soon as he puts his hands in.
That's interesting. We go back and forth, maybe. Okay.
And
As if you.
after a few moments, you feel this effect. You feel this magic swirl through you, and then you feel it grab your life force and start to pull it from you.
Okay.
You take 6 points of damage.
What?
It's sucking you and not in a good way.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Time.
So much not like last session.
A few moments pass. You take another 2,
Okay.
and then another 3,
Ye-gaz.
then another 2,
Okay. Gosh.
and then 5.
Just a second, John.
Seems to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a second.
Is everything stabilizing?
No. As
Dang
each
it.
moment, as
Okay.
each sort of 5 to 10 seconds pass, a bit more of your life force is ripped away.
Is the machine making any? Is the pitch of the noise
Oh,
going
yeah.
up still, or is
It's definitely revving up as his life force is being drained away, and you can see he's like, and his teeth are gritted. Again, it's not painful. It's just disconcerting.
You feel it though.
But you can hear these mechanisms, and it seems like more things are starting up as each moment passes. Yeah.
I'll cast a cure wounds on him.
So that's another 3 points. You're going to cast Cure Wounds? Has no
Yeah.
effect.
No effect. Okay.
Okay.
No effect at all.
Okay. I'm staying on.
Okay. You keep on going. No problem. 2 more. And then another 5.
Oh heck. Just a second, John.
Yeah.
So where's he got you to now?
He's got me
28
at 13.
out of
13
41.
hit points. 13 hit points left.
Okay.
Healing. Yeah.
Healing did nothing. Not while he's attached to the machine.
Hold me up, Shaggy.
And another 5.
Oh shh.
33.
One round. If it doesn't
Yeah.
stop another round, I think you've got to finish.
Yeah.
And then
Fair
6.
enough. Okay. I pull off.
I yank
What
him
are,
off.
what are you down to?
2 hit points.
2 hit points, and then you withdraw.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel weak as a kitten, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't.
like I've been sick in
feel
bed
weak.
for a week. I don't.
You don't feel weak. Only lifting your hands out was just as simple as you just lifted your hands away.
Ugh.
But this machine is
Ugh.
pulsing. You can feel this whole place vibrating, and then you just lift your hands
Somebody
out.
jump on. Somebody jump on.
You lift your hands out, and it stops. Everything just.
Do we
Okay.
start
And it
from
quiesces
0
again.
every time?
Well,
Are we
what
starting
happened
from...
when you started up was JL got her hit points back, so probably.
Okay. So somebody else jump on.
Don't know if we can give someone some temporary hit points. Make them last longer. I don't know.
Just for speed's sake, someone jump on.
All right.
Just because we want to try and keep this thing revved.
Okay, now I'll
Well,
You,
no,
didn't-
try
you
and
don't
jump
work.
on.
You don't
Doesn't work
work.
for
You
you.
don't work. You don't work. Doesn't work for you.
I'll jump on.
Barrow
Okay.
sticks his hands on.
Well, no, hang on. Before you, Varro's stepping forward, and Shaggy just sort of elbows him slightly out of the way. On go the pseudopods, and nothing happens.
Move, move,
Okay,
move.
I thought it was because we did one hand off and then the second hand off with JL.
No,
Oh.
stick
And I
both your
thought
hands
that
on
that
this
might
time.
have been the reason why.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go Varro. Yeah, it
that
don't
was
work
really
for
like-
me.
Barrow.
That was noble of you. That was noble of you.
But you're like, I'm taking this personally. What's going on here?
No. I mean, if the bony ones want to sacrifice themselves for me, at least
Yeah.
I'll be able to fly the ship down onto the
Doesn't-
planet and get all the loot. I'm fine with that.
At least you'll be able to fly home on your own.
It doesn't work
Exactly.
as well for pirates. It doesn't work as well for true pirates.
Exactly.
Varro, you put your hands in. 30 seconds. You feel the mechanisms just. You feel things just start to rev up. Again, you feel that wash of magic
Okay,
through your
I'm
body.
going to pull my. I mean, if it doesn't start up,
Is
where
it starting from 0?
it feels like it's starting from 0 again. Does it?
Yep.
It doesn't sound any different when it started the other 2 times.
Nope.
Right, I'll just take my hands off then.
Okay. So before
Yeah.
any of your life force is drained. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It feels like it's doing this for a purpose, though. If it's not, it doesn't
Do
feel
you-
malicious.
Can I
It
ask,
sounds like it's getting close. Yeah.
love, do you feel any connection with the machine still?
I'd be the wrong
'Cause you
person
don't
for that.
feel in any way. So in other words, it's almost as if while it's draining you, it's also infusing you in some way.
Did when he took over, did I get my hit points back?
Nope.
Ah,
But that's because he
Okay.
literally put his hands in. There was a brief moment, and then he just took them straight back out again. He didn't take
Yeah,
any damage.
I didn't suck any of my life force. So.
give it a teeny touch of your life force, quick, while it still maybe has some power in it,
All
and
right,
then I'll
I'll do that.
just see what happens.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you put your hands back down. Again, there's that 30 seconds of things just starting up. And then you feel that wash of magic through you. And 5 of your hit points are drained. And Lovelord, I mean, actually, it's really weird, Lovelord. It's like something is uncorked inside you and it all just rushes back into you. So whatever's holding onto your life force just... And you're
All
like...
right, Vera,
"Oof."
I'm taking over.
Lovelord, hang on. Lovelord, put your hands on Varro. Put your hands on Varro.
Okay.
Massage his neck.
Round his, I was going to say round his shoulders, like giving a little massage, or you could put them around his waist, or like, you know.
I'm going to stand
On his
behind him
head,
and put
on
my
his
hands
temples.
on top of his hands.
You're going to stand over the top of him and put your hands on top of his hands. Okay?
Yep, I'm not letting him up.
All right?
No, I'm just joking. We're gonna make
Stay there,
you.
boy.
No.
Okay. Are you keeping your hands there, Varro? Or are you stopping? What are you doing?
No, I'm going to keep them there.
Keep them there. Okay. So, another point.
Okay.
Does it appear that it's now revving more? Anything?
It's just revving up like it was before. 2 points.
Isn't the life force isn't being sucked from Lovelaw?
Nope. No effect on
Okay.
level at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because again, it didn't work for me either. But then I can't use the
Yeah.
pillar. So
Sure.
I thought that might have been a way of dividing what it was sucking out.
All right.
3 more points.
Do we want to call it good, guys?
No, I'm going. I'm. It's an interesting effect. I'm keeping going.
Okay.
Okay. I
5
back
more.
off of him because he's got it. While he's doing this, John, on my hit points, where am I at?
Full. 100%.
Full.
No damage. You're completely undamaged.
Because
All right.
the way I got the hit points back was like it wasn't that it had taken the hit, but the life. It had locked it
Yeah.
away. So
It's
yeah,
almost like
I'll
it siphoned it off somewhere,
yeah.
and then when you didn't complete, when he then it went and gave it all back to you. In fact, the 10 minutes, after 10 minutes, it's just like, have it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep going.
Another point.
Gotta put. It's doing this for a reason. If it's a good reason or a bad reason.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you're all right. 6 points.
Okay.
No.
Say, Vero, this time your hands are gonna be in the holes, and I'm just gonna slide mine in underneath yours.
No.
No.
No. Just
Keep
let
it going.
Keep going. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. 3 points.
JL's drawing this. It's
Okay.
probably a bit disturbing.
And 5 points.
I'm still going.
I
Okay.
think you'll be okay.
Something is different for a moment. Weirdly different. There is this
Uh-oh.
crescendo of pulsing. And outside the window, you see a shaft of energetic light shoot out from the bottom part of the pyramid and lance out and hold. And it's just sitting, shining into the center of the cloud.
Okay.
And
I wonder if this is self-sustaining now.
you lift your hands out
Yep.
because it feels like the right thing to do.
Okay.
You're on
There's-
1 hit point,
Yes.
and it is your current maximum,
Mm-hmm.
but you kind of feel okay,
Yeah.
All right.
which is disconcerting.
Yeah.
You feel a little.
Lovelaw, slap him around the
I
back
mean,
of
you
the head.
notice it,
No.
but
This
it's
is
not. And you wouldn't want to get into a fight right now
No.
or put yourself in danger. But you don't feel too bad.
Okay.
So he's removed his hands. Has the beam of light stopped?
Beam of light is steady, coming out the
Okay.
bottom of the
All
pyramid
right.
and
Let's
pointing
go
into
to the next one.
center part
So
of this
let's-
cloud.
is it a beam of light like a bridge?
No, it's like
It's
a
just a-
it's like a shaft of light
Heavy
shining
light.
into this cloud of crystalline rocks.
So I'm
I-
guessing we
I
probably
think we have to do this at all three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Let's go. Let's go.
Do we have to leave you behind though? Keeping this.
No,
One
I
working.
mean I'm coming.
Don't
with
think so. The
Don't
light's
know.
still on.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, but surely all your life force will return to you when you're 10 minutes away from this place.
maybe if it does,
But
then
he-
we'll have to come back and do it again.
Okay. Okay.
He
yes,
he started the energy.
Last
Basically,
time
we know how to turn
you
these
didn't
on.
power it all the way up. You got low, but you didn't power it all the way up.
Yep. So now it's about powering these all on, and we know how to do it without killing ourselves. So let's just cruise to each one and
Yeah.
knock it out.
Okay, so that was the
I
triangle.
don't know.
Where are you going next?
So rectangle. You say
Let's keep
clockwise.
going to the final one though, because we haven't seen all three.
Yep.
Yet.
Okay.
That way we can work the timing too.
All right. Now, before
John,
we do that,
are these things?
sorry,
Go ahead.
you go ahead first.
I was wondering if these things are rotating like they are in an orbit, or if there's some sort of Lagrange point that they're at, that there's another object out there that's acting upon them that we don't know about.
As
That's
far
keeping
as
them
you
from
can
falling
tell,
in.
they are static in space. They are not orbiting. They are sitting in what is effectively an orbital position. But they are just held in space.
Okay, so it's magic, or there's something big out there that's another gravitational pull that's equidistant and blah blah blah. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
Sorry, didn't mean to take away from the
no
discussion. I was just
no problem
interested.
at all. We're going to take a very, very quick break, and we'll be back in about a minute. And we're back. So what do you think then, folks?
I think next time you unpause, we all scream.
Right,
Well, we got a couple of thoughts on the subject at hand. So it'll be interesting how you describe what happens when we get further away from triangle and closer to rectangle.
Okay. So it takes you about 2 hours to fly around to.
Can
square,
we
not
see the
rectangle.
beam of light during the entire course?
It's difficult to see once you get further round, but you're pretty sure it's still shining the point at which you get to the next.
Okay.
Checking on Varro, is he feeling okay? Is his life force? Does he feel like his life force has snapped back, or
Nope.
does he feel like he's still the same as he was when he?
Drained, but feels okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what we're doing. Got it.
Mm-hmm. You get
Okay.
you get to the octahedron with the square window.
Rectangle.
We've got the round window, the square window. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the square.
We're
not
looking for
rectangle.
George and Zippy.
And you land. It is exactly the same as the others, only the dais here is square. Pillar on top, 2 handholds.
Got it. Okay. I'm on it.
You're going to do it this time, Evaro.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Lovelow.
carry it on down.
Do we
Sorry,
want
Laura.
you on there? Because if we need to do any combat in the middle of this, do we want someone who's got hit points?
Well, yeah, but here's my thought. And this is all, we're going as fast as we can because we're afraid of things shutting off. Let me take it as far as I can. Then one of you two solid bodies jump on, finish it. We cruise to the next one, and we do the same thing. And at the end of this, your big fighter still has all his hit points.
Mm-hmm.
And so does Shaggy. And then we cruise to the middle, and then we go back around and, I don't know, turn them off somehow. And I don't know.
Well, I'm thinking. I mean, it seemed to be that the energy was returned when these things switched off.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yes.
hoping that when we get all 3 of them turned on, we can then go into the center, and at which point, hopefully, turn them off again once we're in the center, and we'll get our life force back.
Yep. Or we get whatever it is in the middle, get out, turn it off. Either way.
Or
I'm just
it could
worried.
be that when all 3 are actually switched on, you get your life force back because they're all on the on.
All of us stay in the ship except for Shaggy because he's the only one with hit points left, and he goes and does all the combat.
Well, if we get to the end of
That's
this,
absolutely fine by me.
It'll be Shaggy and me.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll have 2 people with hit points at the end. But
Who's
let's drain. Let's go. I'm draining.
getting handsy with the pillar?
The really great thing about Shaggy is he's
I
got
am.
no way to hide the treasure because we can see right through him.
Okay. Lovelow,
Oh,
put your
I am
hands
going
on and
to say one thing here. I don't see the point in Lovelow trying to jump on and then letting somebody else jump on after him. It resets to 0 when you are given your life force back. If you have not
did
completed
it?
the transaction,
Wait.
and taken it to 1, when you jump
don't-
off, it will just return all your life force and return the machine to 0.
Did it return to 0?
Yes,
Are you sure?
that's what we were told.
Or were we?
When it started up
Yes.
again, it sounded exactly the same as when it had started
Right at the start.
right at the start. In other
Seems
words,
keyed to a
starting from
person.
nothing.
It may be keyed to a person. Okay,
Well,
I'm comfortable with
That's
that.
what we were told.
no harm trying it. That's all I can say. So why not try it?
All right. Way to talk yourself into it there, Megan.
So who's putting their hands on the pillar?
I was having my leg tickled with a little wet nose.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Rob,
It'll work for me one day. No, it still won't. Okay,
Worth
so
a
that's
try.
Megan this time, is it?
Yeah, I'll go. Yep.
Okay.
So this experiment is in the assumption that there's a certain amount that's taken from a single person, as opposed to a certain amount overall between multiple people. Got
I
it.
think it's just a time thing, like 10 rounds. And
Yep.
if you
Okay.
if the damage rolls low, then you can walk away from it. If it turns high, then you're screwed.
Well,
So I think it's all down to the dice rolls.
I think it's just
there were
taking back what-
3 rounds. 3 rounds, if I remember right, that turned it on for Vero. But the first time Vero did it, it was a bunch of rounds.
Oh, it was more than 3 rounds for me.
It's a lot more
Turn
than
it
3
on.
rounds.
This time? Okay.
So Megan,
Yeah,
this is
okay.
disconcerting. You're having
Yeah.
your life force drained.
So I'm,
Okay,
I'm
fair-
sitting there with a nail file and type thing, and I'm kind of like trying to produce like an oozy type of nail so I can pretend to clean underneath it, whilst I'm waiting for these bony people to do what they need to do.
So initially it's de minimis. You just lose a hit point, and then you lose 4,
Ooh.
and then 2 more,
4. Hang on, and then 2 more,
and then 3 more.
and then
Ooh.
3 more,
And then another 3,
and then 3,
and then another 2.
and then 2.
Boy.
Okay.
And then 6.
And then 6. Okay.
21.
And it is really disconcerting because you can feel it
Yep.
being drained out of you.
Uh-huh.
You're going to continue?
Yep.
And another 1.
Okay.
27.
And another 1.
28.
Okay.
And another 1.
29.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And then 3. And then 1.
32.
That's not 32. Stop counting crappy. Sorry, how many was that, John?
1.
1. Thank you.
And then another 3.
Okay, she drops to the floor.
Sorry, another 2.
Too late. I've got
And she's
failures.
fine.
Death saves. Too late. You said 3.
That's only because it wasn't updating your character sheet fast enough, so I couldn't see what was going on. Yeah, you dropped to
Okay.
1 hit point.
So
and
you were
then-
right, Megan.
And then the beam of light shoots out.
Okay, we figured it out. Good, Megan.
And the kind of the magic that was coursing through you stops, and you just feel like it's the right time. You lift your hands up, and you're like, okay.
Okay.
So yeah, you feel a bit
Alright,
disconcerted.
next one.
You can feel that your energy's been drained, your life force has been taken off somewhere, but you don't feel. You don't feel like. I mean, obviously, again, as with Varro, you don't feel like you want to get in a fight or anything like that, but you feel fine.
All right.
And the
One
color
more.
of the beam that's heading into the center, is it the same color as the previous beam? Different colour?
That's a really good question. Yes, it is actually. It's a kind of orangey yellow color, a sort of almost like a sort of mustardy color of Pete's t-shirt. That'll do it. It's that kind of color. Kind of like an orangey yellow.
What, the first one was silvery, was it?
Same color.
Who was that? Oh, okay.
Oh, same colour.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Let's get the last one.
Okay.
Yep.
So you fly back to the circular one. Who's offering themselves up this time? Okay.
Yep.
So JL, you feel
Okay.
it slowly and by degrees drain you right down to 1 hit point, and then the beam of light shoots out,
Yeah.
and then you realise something has gone wrong, because abruptly the beam of light changes colour from the yellow that it's first at, and there is this loud, to all of you it feels like you're standing next to a dwarven horn player as they play a low note, and the entire place vibrates, and this sound is actually almost painful on your ears. The light flashes to red and then abruptly dies, and all three of you are momentarily affected by this, and you're like, what the heck's happened? And then suddenly, oof, all of your life force surges back into you, and you're all at full hit points, and the lights are out.
Has anything? Go ahead.
Everything
What
is
if it's a
quiet and dark
combination? If we've got to do them in a certain order, because there are
Well,
different
that's
repeating
good.
patterns.
I'm going to peek out the window.
Yes.
Is the thing that the lights went into, is that still there, or is that opened up?
Everything's exactly the
Does
same
that
as it
change
was
colour?
before.
I'm looking at the map and I say, well, the idol of Tethyscon is on a triangular base. The pillars are they've got a square bit in the middle, and then there's a circle in that cloud. So triangle, square, and circle. Well, that's what we did. So maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Exactly as it
say,
is.
I would say number of order of complexity maybe. So do circle first as the simplest form, then triangle as 3-sided form, and square as a 4-sided form.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what? I wish I was as nerdy as that, Pete.
John, you're the DM.
Yeah,
You never
you
have to tell us.
absolutely are as nerdy as that.
That one had never occurred to me. So you're going to go circle, triangle, square.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
See it? Okay.
Go on.
I'm
Speak up.
thinking rectangle, then circle, then triangle.
Why?
Because the pillars of creation leaves a rectangle in between the pillars, and that was the first thing that we had to come to
Okay.
from
It's
the
a
idol.
square, not a rectangle.
It was a
Please
square,
ignore
yeah.
my crappy drawing on the
Yeah,
pyramid
but you
thing.
know what I mean.
They are all,
It's-
they
It's
are
a
all
four-sided.
squares.
It's a four-sided
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
rather than a one-sided thing.
Yeah.
Then you've got a gas kind of planet, which is kind of like, I know it's got the no entry sign in it, but yeah, gaseous. It really doesn't have any sides to it at all, does it? Because it's gaseous, really. So maybe that's the circle, and the stars are just triangles overlacing with each other. So
One
and
of the,
the stars were the last thing that we had to go to.
hang on. One other thing. You've got the little detailed pattern that goes around the outside. Now, we have no
Yep.
idea where it starts, but it
Yes,
goes.
Yeah.
you've got 38 squares,
Square,
you've got
triangle,
37
round.
triangles, and you've got
Square,
37
triangle,
circles.
round. Square, triangle, round. Square, triangle, round.
Did you sit and
Or
count
triangle,
those?
round, square.
Yes,
Triangle,
I
round,
did.
square.
Ah. So that'll work.
What
Let's
I'm
start
saying
with
is
the.
That's the pattern. We've got to find which is the first one. But I wonder if that's the pattern
Well,
we're supposed
I
to be
mean,
aiming for.
willing to go with Shaggy's theory: square first, circle next, and triangle last.
There's a square in
Let's
every
do it.
corner. The one in every corner is a square.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
I said, there's 38 squares, there's 37
Mhm.
triangles, and there's 37 circles.
Oh wow, you
So-
went new. Okay.
You sat-
Well,
No, I
counted
did.
them.
I counted and then I double counted to make sure that I didn't make a mistake on the first count for all three of them. But you know, I didn't mention it before because I thought John wouldn't have actually have maybe have used that as a guide to which one goes first. But if he did, that substantiates my theory of the pillars being the first destination. So maybe the square should be the first tower that we light up. But
yeah,
as we're here at circle, you
Yeah.
said circle, then try. So we might as well start on the circle and then do the
No,
triangle and then finish on the square.
I think you're right. Pillars first. I think square.
Pillars
circle,
first.
triangle. I think that's let's do it.
Square. I think it is square, circle, sign. Yeah. And
mean,
by the way, I have pity on the poor guy who's going to be trying to run Call of Cthulhu against my players. Our players, John. Unbelievable.
I've come up with this fiendish devilish. We've sorted it. Oh, bloody hell! I thought it was at least 2 hours worth of work.
See, now I'm doubting
Do you guys
myself
wanna
and I'm
roll it?
thinking,
No,
no,
put
I think Shaggy would actually insist on doing Varros because we're actually here now
Well,
on the zero.
Right.
the Call of Cthulhu one we did where we just worked out the code.
I know. I was
Yeah.
just like, gotta be kidding me. And then we do this, and that's like, wow. And the rule book actually said on that Call of Cthulhu thing that, you know, here's the hints to give them because they're, you know, when they don't get it. It's like, you guys are like, broke. You guys broke each of the codes immediately. I was like, yep. Yeah, anyway, that's my group. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Right.
Let's
So yeah. So Shaggy goes. Well, you know,
We're going to try square, circle,
I'm a
triangle.
buccaneer, not a thinker.
Square, circle, triangle.
Yeah.
Okay, you try square, circle, triangle, and again, the horns of Gondor and red light and everything just fades away.
Square triangles, square triangle, circle.
Square, triangle, circle is what we have to try now.
Okay, so you
Yep.
try square, triangle, circle, and who's the last person again? Is that JL again?
Yep.
Okay. The everything sort of fades, and you're just keyed up. You're just ready for that moment. You're ready for the blast of the horns and the red light, and it doesn't come. And the light stays steady, and instead, what happens is the swarm of crystalline rocks starts to clear where the light falls, until suddenly there is a tunnel
Something's happening.
through, and you can see through. You see the three beams of light intersecting into the center of this cloud, and in the center it's empty, but there is this growing space, and then suddenly within the space it's almost like reality twists and folds. And all of you recognize what it is. Something from a different plane of existence is called to this plane. And hanging in space, free and clear and accessible from where you are stood, is this, for want of a better way of putting it, fortress, crystalline fortress, just hanging in space.
We've got to go. We've got to go. We've gotta go.
And
You know what?
as you stand there and you see it, plain as day, each of you who has been drained feels your life force rush back into you. And now, that's where the treasure is. And that is where we'll leave
You know
it
what?
for
I'm gonna punch that tabaxi in the face. I don't care.
It's all right. I can heal him up afterwards.
He didn't know.
Hey, interesting thing. real quick, that went from complexity to simplicity. I think we should remember that as we move forward. Or complexity to entropy, or complexity to, see what we're saying? All right.
All right.
Well,
Great, John.
I was kind of on the right lines with